Yeah, all right, what's going on, everybody? It's hump day. That's what it is. I'm going to talk about a few things here. It's crazy. It's a pretty old unit. Been around. But I want to talk about why does people do certain things, and I don't understand it. They make modifications, and they just do them in the wrong spot, it seems like. But let's look at this sides here. You got a bolt run through there, and they put a ground strapped onto the board. I mean, you can do that, and that's fine. Try to get this. Trying to. Uh-oh. Okay. Either way, you got wording going across. So what I'm getting at here is the ground straps going through the frame of this unit. And you can do that. And I've seen a lot of guys that had these 32s has done this in the past. My camera is all messed up. I just trying to understand why. You got one here. Got two more over on that side. And then the one they should have probably did the focused on is this one right here in the back. So I have to change it. I'm going to change it. I'm going to make it a half-inch bolt and put a nice ground strap in there. I'll leave the ones on the sides, but it's really not that necessary to do that. I do two grounds on the 32s that I build in today's world. But add-ons are all right. But I think if you're going to add on, you should probably have all your cables the same. I'm having a hard time with this camera. I'm sorry, guys. All right. So this is the ground wires that were actually on this unit. And it looks like this one here, he went to a semi-supply house and got this one. And this was hooked up right on the back of the box. So they had this unit directly hooked to a battery, which is another bad idea. We'll talk about that in a little while. This is probably like a 4-gauge wire right here. Not very big. And this one here might be a 4 or a 2. But they had all those things strung out, and it really didn't make any sense. It's all grounded. It's making ground, but when you do your grounds, you have to have the same size cables like you have this cable. And you need to try to keep them, importantly, the same length as possible. It's really important. I'm building trucks right now. I got a truck in the shed that I'm building with 6-pack. And the things that you come across, no matter who built the truck or who built the equipment or whatever, it don't really matter. If you take a shortcut, you end up having problems in the future. So ground is how all of this stuff works. If you lose ground, you lose your system, and that's at the end of it. Or you lose whatever you're trying to run. Maybe Maybe you're trying to run this stuff on a power supply and RF is getting in there and it's making noises and shutting fans off. If your fans on your amplifier slow down and stop at time to time, that means you don't have efficient ground. You're inefficient on your grounding of your vehicle. The same thing applies in your base station. If you're getting into stuff, you're losing ground. Your equipment is literally telling whatever's messing it up or is messing itself up. It's literally telling you that you don't have enough ground or you have a bad patch line. That's what it loses ground. All of these things all surround themselves around ground. And as soon as you guys can wrap your heads around that ground makes the world turn with the world that we're in with electronics. It's all ground. As sooner that you can correct those ground issues, the better your equipment's going to run, and it's going to run smoothly without no weird glitches and etc. Especially in the vehicles. My goodness, I cannot express enough to ground your vehicle body to frame underneath the chassis. No wires going anywhere near the antenna. Ground wires, none and above. It's not part of it. So, going back to this unit, it had a few things going on there. The selection of parts when it was built failed. They lasted a while. They failed. These are DM30s. These are DM30s, and they go out over time. They say they're 1,000 volts, but we all know that they're not. They don't seem to work. But these were all pretty close in match. It's a 141, 150, 145, 149, 153, and this one is out. And the reason why, hold on, camera just went left field on me. Okay, so if we can try to see this, there's a crack right on top of this thing. See if I can make the camera bigger. Kind of see the crack. There's a crack there. Right there with the silver light in between those silver lines. It's cracked in half. So the capacitance on this was like 19 picofarad. So that's what happens when that happens. The guy said, all right, the power ended up being a little bit low. It started falling off power. And I understand why, because you lost a whole 4-pil stage because this capacitor right here went out. All right. So you lost the entire 4-pil stage and it was trying. Luckily, he didn't blow it up, meaning this part was out. So luckily, he noticed it and it quit quick. Let me see if I can come over here and look at this part here. So this part here, that little wire right there, it really wasn't soldered that great, kind of on one side. You'll never believe where this was. This was a bad idea here. That was like nickel-coated wire. You couldn't really solder it that well. Well, let's see. It was, and probably the worst place in the world to have a janky wire, right there at your output. So I had did a repair patch on this, and I used some interbraid to 316 coax and got it all internally woven, and she's good to go. So that corrected that problem. So any way you go, there's a lot of little issues. Ooh, looking at my feet now. That's what it looks like for me looking at my feet. All right, so this unit had a couple little issues here or there, but that's for the most of it, the issues that he had. I decided to take and look at the input. When I started on this unit, I was somewhere upwards of 15, 18 watts input reflective, and that was with just a small driver. So in the great idea of using small capacitors to take and do a tuning system, make it quote unquote fixed, the problem is 90% of the time, guess what fails? The lowest value. All right, the lowest value ends up failing. So this didn't add up to what the numbers were just as far as face value goes. So there's parts in there that are out and blown. So that required me to retune the input circuit of this 32. So again, this is a original Toshiba red dot, repaired, broke a couple times. People put whatever they put in there. It's running, and it's running correct at this point. So that said, I'm just going to run it with my little 2-pill, little Texas Star here. And we're not going to see no world record numbers, but we're going to see this unit functioning for the most part as a 24 transistor unit at a little elevated voltage, but way under driven. So let's go over this thing real quick. All right, so here we go. Let's look at the elements. 25 watt slug facing the driver, 250 watt slug showing the input drive level. All right, and why I'm trying to adjust this camera, I'll talk about phase angle. From my radio down to my driver, I'm running 12 feet, or the velocity factor of 0.66. Politically correct, a half a wavelength electrically is what I'm running from my radio to my driver. Now, you can see I have a 2500 watt slug for forward out and a 5 kilowatt slug for forward output to the dummy load. Now, from the driver to the input of the 32, I am running a quarter wavelength electrically, which is 6 feet of the same velocity family, 0.66, and then 12 off to my dummy load, or electrically a half a wavelength. So there's the phase angles of how you should be running this box. Most units require the proper phase angle of your coax. From your radio to your driver, that will never, ever change. You run a half a wavelength electrically. I don't care what kind of coax you are using, as long as it's a half a wavelength electrically. You have to do the mathematics on it. You have to know what the VOP is, do 492, times it by the VOP, and divide it by frequency, and you cut your coax to whatever you need electrically. That mathematical equation will give you the a half a wavelength electrically. So that's how you do those numbers. Now, from 2, 4, 6, 8 transistors unit, you'll run 12 foot from the radio to the driver, 12 foot from the driver down to any of those units, off to the antenna, 18 or 12 depending on your vehicle, and then coax to your antenna, depends on what that is, different systems. So anything after that requires 12 transistors, 16, 24, 32. Normally it's 12 foot from the radio to the driver, 6 foot between them, and then 12 or 18 off to your antenna for as mobile application goes. Base station is base station. But those phase angles will not change. You need to check them yourselves. Only time I've seen those phase angles ever change is when you change your driver. I did this in my ugly truck recently, and where I had my 5-pill driving in my 24. What did it want to see? It wanted to see a 12 foot. It was kind of okay with it. I put a 6 in there. It's like, okay, it's kind of okay there too. So it depends on your combination. You have to check it. So if you're a guy that's wanting to try to figure this out, you hook a bird line section up, and I don't care if you only have a single one. You move it from your output over to here, put your small slug and face it towards your driver. Change your patch cord right here, right from your driver to your input of your big box, and see what that number is. All right, I show it every video. I talk about it all the time. So it's all really important stuff, and if you guys can get this little bit done, you know that that's part of the variation. I'm going to ask you when you call me, say, I blew my amp up. I'll say, what was your input between the boxes? Oh, I don't know. Well, what length of coax are you running? Oh, I don't know. What do you know? Did you build it? I know you do. I just talk on the microphone. Well, no, you need a little education, because, you know, we're all grown-ups here, and nobody wants to hold each other's hand. I take and I do these tutorials. When I take and talk about this stuff in the video, it's supposed to help you guys, for you can go off on your own and do your testing and research, and you can always go back to the video and watch it. So very important information. You guys can use it if you'd like or not. It's up to you. So let's take and try to get this camera lined up, and let's run this little guy up here. All right, so let's turn on the amp meter real quick. Wake it up. I think it's about time for a new battery charge on that one. So let's take a look at the amp meter real quick. All right, here we go. Here's your amperage. 315 amps. All right, that's pretty cool. All right, let's take a look at my input drive level. This is a 250 watt scale, slug, top scale. Each line's 5 watts. Audio. So about 160 watts. Let's look at the input. It's 25 watt scale. Each line's a half a watt. Right above 2 watts. Not terrible. 2-pill driver. All right, 2500 watt scale. Each line's 50 watts on this. So I'm doing 2450 on the 2500 watt scale. Let's look at the 5 kilowatt. Each line's 100 watts in the middle. So it's showing me 22 right there. Here's our voltage that we're riding at. 15.8. So with that said, I think this old girl is running pretty good. I have to make a little bit of changes for the ground circuit in the back end of this unit, and I think she should be pretty much done. Oh, this is it's an older unit. I think Joe did this down in the Carolinas. He made a few of them. Let's see if I can wake these two guys up. What are you doing, Molly? How's things? Huh? You guys gonna do a little something for Dad? Come here. Come here, talk to me, Molly. I know it's a rainy, yucky mess out there today. You a good girl? Huh? Molly? You gonna wave? Molly? You gonna wave to everybody? You gonna wave? Come on, wave. You wave to Daddy. Wave to everybody on YouTube. Say, what's up? It's hump day. It's hump day, Molly. Hey. Hey. Sit. You gonna wave? Come on, give me a wave. Give me a shake. Give me a shake. Shake. That's a shake. Now wave. You gonna wave now? No? Hey, where's Zippy at? Hey, Zip. Come here. Come here, bud. Very much room here. Come here, boss man. Oh, man, this thing is just swinging everywhere. There you go. Oh, you caught the soldering iron, didn't you? Hi, Zippy. What's up? What's going on? Where you going, Molly? Huh? What do you think, Zip? Woo-woo! What are you doing? Oh, you're checking it out, ain't you? Yeah, we reworked the input circuit, didn't we? Did we do a good job? Hey, Zippy. Hey. We do a good job, Zip. Did we do good? Did we do good? Zippy. We do good, buddy? Huh? Have a seat. You gonna sit down? Or you gonna climb up there like a mountain goat? You wanna go up there. Molly, where'd you go? What are you doing? What are you doing? Huh? You gonna talk to everybody? You say what up? Hi? Say hello. Say hello. You say hi. Molly. Is Leo coming today? Molly. Oh, there you go. Is Leo coming? You gonna show him tricks? Come here. You're a good girl. Huh? You're a good girl, aren't you? Yes, you are. What are you doing? You gonna say goodbye? Say it's Wednesday. It's hump day. Got something loving, you better hump it. Tell him. Tell him. Tell him, Molly. You tell him. Yep. See you later. What are you doing? Huh? What's up, old man? You ready to go work on the truck? Catfish is coming. Catfish is coming. You want to see your buddy Leo? Yeah, you love your catfish. All right, there you go. Say bye-bye. Come here. That's a good girl. That's my girl. That's my girl. Huh? Here. Here, Moo. Oh, camera turned. Come here. That's a good girl. You good girl? Yeah. You Daddy's girl. All right, I'm gonna try to get this thing spun back around. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. Me and the dogs. Rainy day here in Chicago. At least it's about 50 some odd degrees. So, getting ready to go out to the shed and work on another ugly truck. Ugly, ugly, ugly truck. Ugly Truck Nation. That's what it's about. All right, guys. Enjoy your day. Hopefully some of this information in this video helped y'all. Catch you later. I'm out.